Welcome back to another episode of Flight School. Your pilot here speaking, and today's destination is about our money. But the title of it is Poverty Your Persona. And I personally deal with this, dealt with it, still are is dealing with it. And as I was writing my notes for it, it comes from a place of trauma. For me, I can't speak for everybody else, but it does come from a place of trauma. So poverty can be associated with trauma. Growing up without can teach us to settle. So while we can't pick where we were raised, and our parents try the best they can with the knowledge that they have, with the tools and the skills that they have, unfortunately, some people do experience poverty, some more severe than others, even maybe a form of middle class. It may not be poverty, but it still may not have been enough. So I can only imagine somebody that really struggled through their whole life and in their childhood, and seeing their parents go without, or being a single parent home, living in a low income, not only a house but a low income community, because also your community does shape your mindset. And if and if no one has a significant amount of income and have the skills and the finances to make certain decisions or make certain moves, it will affect our mind and how we approach adulthood. And also, you might envy people that do have it, but that's a whole nother topic for another time. The definition of persona: social, public, or assumed identity a person presents, often differing from their true self. So that's why I chose the word persona. Well, it kind of flows a little bit, but we don't have to stay there, and not so much poverty. I mean, we don't have to stay there either, but our mindset. That's the biggest thing. It's one thing to manage money, but it's another thing to allow money to manage us. So in the strive, in the persistence, in the duty of trying to make it out or make sure I have enough, I've lost myself. And I can only imagine this other people's stories. I kind of lost who I was because I was trying to not be something. And even though I'm not called to be that, that's I was operating out of fear. A fear of lack, a fear of not having enough, a fear of going back. And while that's cool, I think there should be a level of competence when it comes to financial decisions. If that's my only identity, then it's very skewed and it's not fulfilling because it's never enough. It's never enough. It's never going to be enough, and I can keep chasing something that I'm never going to obtain, and that is peace of mind financially. I won't have a peace of mind because I financially never reached a point where I'm satisfied. And I believe if we don't catch ourselves, we'll find ourselves in that place. And we've seen plenty of people that have money and still not be happy, still make unfortunate decisions, and unfortunately, may even take their own life because money can't buy happiness. Does it help? Yes, money does help. Money does quench some type of thirst because you don't want to be out here wondering where your next paycheck is going to come from. And we have sympathy and empathy for people that are going through that. But God has called you to more, and He wants you to be more than just what you can bring to the table. If that's the case, then why do you need Him? If you subscribe to that. But even if you don't, money still shouldn't be your identity. It should be a very small part of you because you're more than that. You're worth more than what money can ever buy. But sometimes we find ourselves striving to be something that we're not, and striving to be something that we were never called to be, striving to be something, even if we do attain it, it doesn't feel, it's not fulfilling at all. It's not fulfilling at all. We say money rules the world, but oftentimes money runs us. And it's unfortunate because sometimes we make decisions based off of money. And I think that starts off as an early age. And there's nothing wrong with these dreams, but I had these dreams too, and I was never going to get there. But hey, growing up, sports like music, boom, I see those people have a lot of money, so that's what I want to be, and I wasn't good at neither one of those things. For those that know me, know my story. Like, especially when it comes to sports, not my thing at all, not even close. So yeah, like money wasn't that way. Money wasn't going to be attained that way, and even in that, I lost a sense of purpose because in my young mind, how am I going to help my mama out? And that's associated with trauma. Seeing my mom not have enough, um, and parents, your children see more than you think. You think you're hiding stuff from your children, and sometimes you are, but sometimes you're not. Your children are very observant, and for people that are those now, I'm pretty sure there was times you've seen things, and it probably didn't register at the time, but as you grew older, like, oh, that what was going on. So I spent so much time in my head, like I gotta take care of my mom, my sister, and nobody gave me that. I just took that on as myself, and in my head, money was gonna solve that. So hey, I didn't even want to go to college, but couldn't make it to couldn't. I knew I wasn't gonna make it professionally, no type of sports, anything. I couldn't go into the military, so I was like, I guess I'm going to college. Like, I'm scratching the surface here. So even in that, like struggling through that, my pastor kind of gave an example one time that trauma even affects our adulthood because he gave an example, but the example was so good because I couldn't put words to it, but I went through the exact same thing, like being in college and struggling, but not asking for help because I feel like my mom already had did enough. She still had another child in the house, and I'm not gonna ask for help. Like, I'll figure it out. Who knows? I don't know, but I'm gonna figure out I'm not gonna ask for help because she's done enough. And so while I'm thinking about money, it's also instilling and increasing my pride and me thinking I can do everything on my own. So yeah, it starts off as finances, but it starts trickling in other areas and growing weeds in places that they're not supposed to be. So pride and selfishness and being inconsiderate because it's about money, or being it's called being frugal, like it's a good thing, but being cheap, uh, creating a mindset that I'm not good enough to get the best of the best. Hey, what's the cheapest thing? Even if I have the money, what's the cheapest thing? How much does it cost? I'm going to get that because hey, you never know. And then in those actions, we devalue ourselves. And sometimes, it's about saving money, but you start creating a habit in your mind like, what's cheapest? When I go out to eat, what's cheapest? I'm not going to get the drink because, hey, it's cheaper with the water. Like, my bill went from $35 to $28. And it's like, if $6 is the cutoff, yeah, you probably don't need to be going out to eat. But it was so ingrained in me. Like, it was deep. It was deep rooted. And it was because of lack. It was because of money, and it's how I viewed my mind, how I view stuff in my mind. Excuse me, and even some stuff that was taught. So I mean, I knew how my mom grew up, so I can only imagine how she was trying to save money, especially when she was a single parent, and bills were probably tight. So while she's just trying to make it, and it's not her fault, but I'm learning, I'm picking up things like, okay, this is how I need to operate. And while it does help to like navigate your money, it also creates a mindset of very low value. That's just for me, from my perspective anyway. So, and while I'm using money, money does symbolize more than things, like more things. Kind of like what I stated earlier, money symbolizes things that we can buy. So, I make it when I can buy this thing. I make it when I can buy this T-shirt, and it starts off small. I feel better if I buy this T-shirt, buy this car, buy this house, be able to buy a certain amount of gifts for Christmas. And every time I bought something, as soon as I bought it, like that that thing that was bothering me, tell me I need to buy it. I need to buy this thing. I need to buy this thing, and I would get it. and I still felt empty inside. And I had to sit with myself like, and don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with buying things for yourself because you should, like you deserve it, you work hard. But like I said, it wasn't fulfilling, and there was this hole in my heart and this thing in my head that I could not process. It's never gonna be enough. About the T-shirt, I wore it twice, and then teach myself, dang, it just came up. Never teach myself to let things go. I would keep things, even though they were raggedy, they were worn out. I would keep things. So I'm teaching myself not to let go of clothes or items, but that also transfers to not letting go of like events and people. So you can't let go of a jacket, but you also can't let go of somebody that probably shouldn't be in your life. It makes you hard to grieve. It makes it hard for when like if somebody passes. Not that it's gonna be an easy process, but it makes things hard to let go because life deals in seasons, and every season something's gonna drop. It may not be a person, it might be a thing, it might be a place, it might be a possession, but in a new season, something's gonna drop. Something has to die. If you're, trying to live this thing, something's going to die. So maybe we shouldn't be taught how to cut things off because we brag about cutting people off and stuff. But we should be developing the art of letting things go. Because sometimes God gonna, tell you to let something go and you don't want to. Had to do it this morning. I had a jacket that I loved. That's so funny. And I love this jacket. It was like a vintage jacket. It was cool. It was an '80s or '90s jacket. It wasn't too thick because I get hot easily. And I was walking by this man, and he told me to give him the jacket, and I was going back and forth with him in my head, and I stopped fighting and I gave it to him. And I'm still grieving a little bit. Still grieving that jacket just a little bit. But I think he's teaching me let things go because you can't hold on to everything, and you have to be obedient faster. So that's what he's teaching me. And that, anywho, so I have some questions to ask yourself when you think about your association, your relationship with money, finances, possessions, all that. Does money drive all your decisions? So I'm gonna take this job because it pays more, which is nothing wrong with that. But it's his job from the information that you have. Is his job is it gonna protect your peace? Are you strictly everything else doesn't line up, but are you strictly taking this job because it pays more? Um, or you're taking opportunities that can make you money, but it drains your energy. Like you don't have time for your people, don't have time for yourself. Also, like I said, does it drive where you work? You don't like this job. You've been saying you don't like this job for a year and a half, and you're still working there. And it's not because you can't find a job. You just refuse to look for another job, and you've poverty mindset. You have accepted this low version. You have not even started looking for a job, but you're going there every day because money drives us. While it is beneficial and it's essential, but money drives us to the point where we'll settle, and you don't have to settle. Does money drive where you go? Does money drive where you don't go? Oh, I'm not going to associate myself with this person or these people because they don't look like they have money. Do I go here because it's money? It's fast money. I'm not with that slow and steady. And does money affect what you indulge yourself in? Take that as you may. Poverty can make you have a limited mindset. So, kind of what I stated earlier, you will base life off of a money filter, and not even in a prosperity way, but in a poverty way. I I can't indulge in those things because it costs money. I don't look the part. I don't have the clothes. um, I hear this a lot. Oh, let's go out. Da 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 da. I don't have anything to wear. Like you have plenty to wear. I don't have anything new to wear. Okay, you can't work with what you already have. You have to, what I'm saying. You have to have something new. Why is that? You can't work with what you got. You have an outfit that you wore twice. It's been months since you wore it, but we tell ourselves it has to be something new. It has to be something new. A saying that I wrote down is because I don't slash didn't have much, I don't expect much. That was me. I got so used to not being said yes, not only from parents but just life. I wasn't used to yes being said to me, so I would just took whatever was given to me. Even if I wanted something or even if I had an opinion, I would just be quiet because I didn't expect much. This shows up as no, that's fine. It's all good. I don't try this slash I don't go there. I was so quick to say, yeah, it's whatever. It's whatever. Because I'm gonna receive whatever's given. I don't have a preference. I don't have a solution. I mean not solution. I don't have a preconceived notion for anything that I want. Even though I do, I'm not gonna say it. Because I don't want to be disappointed. I don't want to get my hopes up and not get the thing that I wanted. So yeah, poverty it did a number on me, and I had to take the time to unlearn a lot. I had to unlearn so much when it came to this way that I was thinking about money. So, more questions to ask yourself. What is your view on money and how did money present in your childhood? Did you get whatever you want as a child? So now you're older, it's hard when people tell you no. Did you not have a lot? So you keep everything. You're selfish. You don't consider other people because you feel like you weren't considered. If we can really associate what money did or didn't do for us as a childhood, we may could do better in our actual adulthood. And last but not least, for those that believe, God will really provide. Now, it may not look like the way you want it to look, but He will provide. he, but He'll also teach. I can, I can say personally, like He will teach. Okay, you might not have a poverty issue, but you have an identity issue. So that's why you buy so many things. Your your conceived notion on money is always getting it, no matter what you're feeling, no matter what anybody's thinking. Money is a top tier thing, especially as a man. And you feel like you use value if you can't provide financially, and that's so far from the truth. I've met so many men through just life in general, and especially I think that what was taught growing up. If you weren't providing for your family and providing meant financially, you weren't worth anything. So God forbid if you get hurt on your job. That's probably why men don't like to sit down. God forbid if you actually, and I think that was given to us because maybe our parents, but especially our grandparents, it was literally if you don't work, you don't eat. I don't think we had some of the benefits that we have now. So, and we can talk about color and how things were set up for people of color back then. You didn't want to give your boss a reason to fire you. So no matter if you were sick or whatever, you're going to go to work. And while that's a great, I don't say it's a great, it's a good work ethic. It's terrible self care and it's terrible for your relationships with the people that you care about in your life. And yeah, that worked back then because that was the culture then. I don't think that's what it is now, but it's different. It can be different if you choose to. So God has personally taught me through other people, through spending time with Him. I'm worth more. So when I figured I was worth more, I didn't put so much value in what money did or what money could do. Now, do I still want to make more money? Of course. I still want to make more money and I want to be able to provide for my family when I get one. But I also don't equate me being more valuable if I have more money. Because I experienced in money that can't buy happiness. I bought things and I still wasn't happy. But when I started healing mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, man, I'm richer than ever. and money can't take that. Yeah, there's gonna be a season for everything. There might be seasons where I'm making more money, and then there may be a season where I'm not making much. And can I still find peace in those situations? Can I still give God the glory and all that? So yeah, man, it's a process, but you can do it. You can do it. So as we land the plane, I hope you've taken something from this. Thank you for you watching this far, because hey, I've been told people watch and they check out early. But regardless, I appreciate even a 1 minute watch. So, with all that being said, thank you for allowing me to be your pilot on this flight. Keep God first, and I'll see you on the next one.